Pepper.
Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having a great, wonderful day, or had a great, wonderful day. Too lazy to actually go get my regular coffee cup, but look, I needed a little sunflower because it's nippy today.
It's so cold.
But I don't know if you ever remembered when we got our little Harbor Freight trailer on a clearance coupon, got it pretty cheap.
Yes.
That was, a while ago. Hey look, I finally put a floor on it. It just had a couple of pieces of plywood on it.
It's been working out so well.
Works great. I can hook it, I can see the back of the tractor. Where I put that ball on the back of my box blade. And so now I put me a nice sturdy floor on it. And it works out pretty good. I just use those screws you normally use in those in trailers. They're kind of long, self-tapping.
It's been working out great. The new floor is gonna work out really well for what we have planned.
Especially when we throw all that stuff on there. I just had, like I said, a couple pieces of loose plywood, so they'd kind of shift, and so feel a little better. And give me time. I get stuff done. But I think
eventually,
what I want to try to do is we're still not all real good prepared to get like the pigs to slaughter and stuff like that very well.
Not just that, but
and the time.
Well, yeah, we don't have time to butcher ourselves.
So we're needing like a little trailer. Now, a friend of ours that gave us a donkey, he said, yeah, anytime you want to come borrow my trailer, come do it. Cool.
His trailer's out of service right now.
Yeah, now his trailer's messed up. So I was like, well, okay then. I guess I gotta think of something else. So, got a thought. Shauna had a lot of great thoughts on how to do it, doing it different ways. And I think we're gonna see if we can turn our little Harbor Freight trailer into a small livestock trailer. It's not gonna be for like the cows or the donkey, but it'll be for the goats or pigs and stuff like that. So
it should allow us to get all 4 of our adult pigs moved around and taken to the butcher. If we need to take goats to the vet, or say the calf or future calves, hopefully.
Yeah. And
this should work out well.
We've also got our other little crate cage that we made out of those totes. The tote cage to put on the back of the truck to haul small animals around.
That works good.
It works great when everything's small and lightweight. Like
pigs are heavy.
Pigs get heavy, and they get heavy pretty quick.
And they even if they weren't heavy, just their demeanor, you can't just pick one.
Yeah, they don't really care for it too much. And the goats, once they get a little older too, they get a little heavier. So picking them all the way up on the back of the truck, that was also going to see a problem for us too. So we're going to come up with an idea. This little Harbor Freight trailer also, it's 1,750 or 1,720 pound, I think, load you can put on it. So I figure with whatever I put on it and a couple of pigs, should definitely stay under that 1,700 pound range.
Oh yeah, well, we have American guinea hogs.
Yeah, so they don't get but maximum 300 pounds, the males. So, well, let's get busy. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Fenders on the way.
Voila! That was pretty quick, wasn't it? Ha! Well, okay, I cheated. Kind of built it already. But I was just going to go over the build with you because I figured you didn't want to see me cutting stuff and everything else. But I can go over everything with you. I was thinking about doing cattle panel. Quick and easy. I could get a couple pieces of 16-foot cattle panel and do it. But I figured I still had a couple of these cages left over from those water totes. So, if you take the tote as it stands up, cut you at one skinny side, the skinnier width, chop it all the way off, flip it down, stockpile of new water totes. So when you've got it, the skinny side, basically where the nozzle will be on, you just come and chop it off at this back side, right up against the bottom there. And do that on the other side as well. Take your little metal plates off, they're handy. And then that way, then it tilts up sideways like this. Of course, you got to unbolt it from the base. It's bolted all the way around the base. That way, to give it some good stability, all those holes will line up and you can bolt this thing. I mean, you can see it's pretty good. You can bolt it all together. And so this is, of course, two of them. One here, one in the front. This little Harbor Freight trailer is also 4 foot by 8 foot. So it worked out perfect. Gives you about 36 inches, I believe, on the inside, up the top. And then I just ran one board along the bottom, one about another foot up, attached it through. The other thing nice about the Harbor Freight trailer is it comes with those little pieces you can put the boards into to make sides. Now, on these, a 2x4 does not fit all the way straight into it. On mine, I had to shave off 1/8 of an inch off of each side of the 2x4 to run it in. And then what I did was, that's a 3/8 of an inch hole that I drilled through it.
Well, the Harbor Freight thing already has a hole, right?
Yeah, the Harbor Freight, this bracket already has a hole in it, so I drilled through the board, went down to Tractor Supply. Now, this was, you know, the ouch for me. These darn things were $4 and something a piece. Ha! That's a 3.5 inch little locking pin, locks across, and 3.5 inches works just perfect. Come through the back side of it. And locks right around to hold that good and sturdy into place. The only problem with it is you can get them on the front, on the back, and on the back where the door goes. But on this front end, there's the big plate here that connects the tongue and everything together. It's too wide. So here, you'd really have to get you probably a 2.5 inch pin that's got the holes in it. I still need to probably go get that and, you know,
Use a cotter pin.
Use a cotter pin to put it in, so you won't have the quick, easy locking pins. But this has got this big gap here, so it can't get around where the tongue meets up. Right here, it's too big of a gap. Don't make it. So
Cotter pins work.
yeah, we just got cleave pins. Of course, the only problem is on those, I've only seen them as long as 2 inches. So if you know a place where I can find one that's about 2.5 inches, it's already got all those little pre-drilled holes in it, let me know. And then, of course, you know, ram boards across the top. Came in, of course, drilled through the metal, screwed in screws into the boards, and that way, see, when you cut it over there, like I said, on the edge, this goes all the way down to the floor. And then, of course, you know, screwed the top up, and it's not really that heavy. I mean, Shauna, I mean, she's not, I mean, superwoman or nothing, but, you know, I guess average strength. I don't know. Yeah. She picked it up pretty decent. Then along the front, what we did, so this piece is technically the piece that would technically be on the floor if you took the cage, and I just cut all the rounded parts off, all flat with the metal, turned it sideways, because these are like going straight up and down, to get the length to go along the whole front. Ran, of course, 2 more up, and then on here the board has to go on the inside for my measurements, and I just used like a 4-inch lag bolt to run these through to sandwich this all together and hold. Put a couple more screws in it. Put me another board across the front here to just give more stability so that this thing won't, you know, go anywhere. And it didn't really take that long to really do. Now, I put all the covers that normally those are the panels that show all the you know, what they are, the info on them. And what I ended up doing is where they hook around the bars, I just took my cutters, cut straight up the side there, and made them square. And then, you know, when you're putting this metal on, you know, pre-drill makes it easier because you got these rounded pieces of pipe. So if you pre-drill in the metal and into here, and then just run your little tapper screw, metal screw through there to hold them. The reason I did it was because where the 2 totes meet together, the 2 bottoms, this is that spot where that valve would be normally. And so there's a big space there. Plus I figure it's all about eye level for the smaller animals. So I guess the less that they're seeing on going down the road, maybe the better their travel. So that's easy, and it's the design we wanted it to be as well. We can take it on because we're not going to need it that often, but it didn't really cost me much, but a couple of 2x4s. I could have milled them myself, but I didn't have all the time to do that. Cages were cheap, you know, because we got those and had them still. But we can be able to take it off, still use the trailer as the trailer that we use out here. Makes it easy. And then the gate, I've got an actual gate ramp that I'm going to use on it, which is this contraption. I had this expanded metal that came off another building over here. This is the other end. I didn't cut the curves off of these. That's just where they got cut off at. Bolted it through with some bolts, the cage to the 2x4s I got running. I made 1 small 2x4, got the hole drilled out through the back. Went to Harbor Freight. This is a 12-inch hinge, so it worked out pretty good. And the front, the back, and the middle part, of course, came from 2 totes. Now, this extra piece I put on here, that was another piece I had spare laying around. So, you know, it still worked out pretty good though. And then just used, basically, I guess it's like a rafter tie, and bent it around to make it as a hinge, bolted it on. Put all these boards here just to help being able to walk up it. Now, let's see if I can put the door on by myself. Well, voila, I can. So far, the only option I've got right now for a gate closure is going to be, this is all pretty strong. I'm just going to probably try to take a couple of tie downs or ratchet straps and ratchet this thing in, ratchet it in tight. Like I said, I'm not going to be using it that often. If you've got any other ideas of good latches to work, let me know down below. But it folds up, comes down, makes a good sturdy walk-up ramp. And then this is that extra piece I put in because, as you can see, putting these small pieces with this extra hinge hanging up gave me a pretty good gap. I thought about I could just lay a board across it, but you know what? I wanted to test being fancy. So, and this was excess that I cut off of there. But then that way, you can come up, don't have to worry about going through that hole. And voila, ta-da! But then that way it gives them grip to get out, and then of course to catch themselves going down. Ugh. But I mean, sturdy. I mean, I don't weigh as much as that one boar, but. And then of course too, this is one of those tilting trailers too. So if I need to tilt it up a little bit, I could. Of course, you know, once the first pig gets in there, you know, it's going to probably fall back down. But if you need to raise up the end. But I think it turned out pretty good. What do y'all think? I'm kind of impressed with myself. But
oh, you didn't put the flip in.
yeah, I didn't put the pin in. But that should close up. And like I said, I should be able to take a
Not a bungee cord.
not a bungee cord, but I should be able to take a ratchet strap across this because that seals up there pretty good. No pig or nothing could get out of those spots, you know. I wouldn't probably put chickens in it. They'd probably get out.
Mm.
I was going to keep using this, and I was going to put wood in between these pieces, which I guess you could too. But I had this, and I was like, that way it gives me a little bit more, I guess, airflow coming through. And then that way, with the thought of ratchet strapping this thing together, give me a little less resistance to pull back on it if it was a solid wall. So, but like I said, I mean, it's sturdy, holds together. Still got plenty of extra weight to be able to put on it. Of course, on this old trailer too, I'm not going to be driving 70 miles an hour with it either. So, all right. You got anything more to add?
No, I love
I
it.
don't think so too. Thanks again for coming along. Sure do appreciate it. I hope y'all have a great and wonderful day. Can't wait to see y'all till next time. Later. I think it turned out pretty good.
Turned out great.